In this exercise, we're asked to display a list of each employee's name, job title, and the manager's name. We're going to use column aliases to clearly identify employee and manager name values. We want to make sure we include all the employees in the list, and then we're going to sort the list by manager's last name. If you have not done so yet, make sure you run the Build 9 script, because that's where your employees table will be created and filled. Notice that in our sample database table we have 5 employees. And what we're going to do is, in order to look up each employee and their manager's name, we're going to have to do a recursive join or a self join. Notice that each record has a manager number, and the manager number refers to the employee number of a different employee. So we're going to use the employee number and the manager number to join the employees table to itself. We're going to start with our select clause, but I'm going to come down here and write the from clause first, because we're going to retrieve data from the employees table and give it a table alias of E for employees. We're going to look at the employees table again, but this time to get the manager information. So now that we have those table aliases of E and M, let's come up and do our select clause. And we're going to select the employee's last name and first name, E.L name, and E.F name, the employee's job, E.job, and then the manager's last name and first name, M.L name and M.F name. Remember that we are asked to use column aliases to identify, to differentiate between the employee's name and the manager's name, and I intend to do that. But I'll come back and do that after we make sure we have a successful run of our data. Let's join these two tables. In our where clause, we're going to join the E.mgr, the manager number, from the employees look at the table data, and we're going to make that equal to, so we're doing an equality join, to the M.empno, or the employee number, when we look up the employees table for the employee numbers. Again, we're asked to sort the data. Again, I'll do that after we make sure that we get the data we want. I'm going to do a sample run, but I know I'm not finished. Notice that we have 5 records for 5 employees. 4 of those employees have a manager. 1 of those employees does not have a manager. Let's run and see what our results are. We got 4 results, and we know that these last 2 columns are the manager's name. So that looks correct, except that we did not get that 1 employee who doesn't have a manager. To do that, we're going to do an outer join. Let's do an outer join on the employee number view of the employees table and see what our results are. Remember, the outer join is that plus symbol inside parentheses. I run it, and notice that Ben King now shows up, but of course there's no manager name for Ben King. Good. So now we've got all the columns data we need, and we've got the records showing up. Let's do our order by clause, and we're going to order by the manager's last name. So we're going to say M.L name field, and let's see if that works for us. We see Jones first, then King, 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 and then the null record. That's the correct order we want. Now let's go back to our select clause, and let's create some column aliases. Now we could create a column alias for each of these 2 columns, the employee first name and the employee last name. But what I'd like to do is some concatenation. How about we remove that comma, we concatenate, using this single quote, a comma and a space, and another single quote. I forgot the concatenation operators. That's the double pipes. We're going to put that on both sides of the comma space. So again, just to clarify, I'm concatenating the employee's last name with a comma and a space, and then I'm also concatenating the employee's first name. Now I'm going to put in my column alias as employee name. Notice that the column alias has double quotations. It's in double quotations specifically for one reason, because I have a space in my column alias, but also because I want to keep the case sensitivity that I have. Remember that it's not required, but I like to see that as keyword. It helps to clarify for us humans that the employee space name is our column alias. We don't need a column alias for the job column, but let's do the same thing with the manager's last name and first name that we did with the employee's last name and first name. We're going to concatenate a comma and a space, and then we're going to concatenate the last name, the first name, our as keyword, and then manager name. Let's give that a run, and hopefully I didn't make any mistakes. And now we have Stuart, Sue under the employee column, and we have Jones, Larry under the manager name. There's an example of doing a self-join, but I've also included an example of an outer join, concatenation, table aliases, and column aliases. I hope you found this helpful.